Okay, everyone, this is Mastering English Communication, the one-year learning plan, and it's brought to you by Mastering English Communication. So, welcome to our Business English and Everyday Social Conversation series. This month, and for some of you, this month is January, the first month of the year and the first month of the series. But of course, you can start this series at any time. The important part is to look at it as the first step in a 12-month program to explode your learning and to drive yourself towards fluency in English or to become more fluent in English. So, in this month, we're going to focus on building vocabulary and basic communication strategies. Don't forget to take notes and return to this video during the month. Okay, so this is month one, or January, and here are our main objectives. Number one, we want to expand essential vocabulary. We want to build a strong foundation of workplace and social terms. So you have to decide what that might be uh, for your business or for your social environment, right? So look at it as social conversation. That might be the focus. But also, your focus could also be business English or your business environment. Number two, we want to improve our pronunciation. And to do this, we're going to enhance the clarity and confidence of our speech. And so you have to monitor yourself. So I'm going to speak to this a little bit more within the lesson. And then we have to practice basic conversation skills because the truth is, our objective is to navigate both professional and casual scenarios effectively. Now, unfortunately, some of us have heard on the internet and maybe even heard it from some other tutors that you don't have to work that hard to be good at your language skills. Well, unfortunately, I've never discovered that secret. The only secret I've discovered is that being consistent and practicing and being focused, and when I say focused, concentrating on the task of learning that second language, in this case, we're talking about English, shows dramatic improvement. Other theories, I'm not really sure how that worked out for other people, but I know consistent practice and concentration work. So let's keep moving. So let's take a look at some vocabulary building activities. We want to look at flashcards, right? So flashcards are great because they provide something that's very mobile and is very quick and allows you to concentrate and focus on learning business terms in particular. Of course, there are language apps that you can use on your mobile device for when you're on the go, when you want something a little bit more in depth in terms of vocabulary practice. And then you want to review. You want to regularly revisit words that you are trying to learn and have learned and use them in different ways. That's another way to build out your vocabulary. And I will tell you, this is just three um, activities that will be very helpful to you. But there are others, and you want to explore others that may work for you as well. I'm very partial to listening to and reading as I study my other languages. I'm very partial to listening and reading in the language. And when I can get an application or some material where I can both read it and listen, that works wonderfully for me. So you have to experiment a little bit, decide what works for you, but stick with it no matter what that is. Now, pronunciation exercises. Some of you are going to say, I hate my voice. So it doesn't matter. You want to record yourself. You want to read short sentences or dialogues and listen back. These are critical. And sometimes if you're watching a documentary, let's say, you can stop the documentary or pause the documentary if you're looking at it on Netflix or Prime Video or one of the other video services, and then repeats the dialogue, the entire dialogue, or some of the dialogue. You can do that also if you're looking at recorded news. So this is a great way for you to practice pronunciation, especially with documentaries and news, because the people involved speak very precisely for the most part. Uh, I'm a big fan of nature documentaries, so they're speaking very precisely. I love the images of nature, animals, sea life, etc. So I'm very focused in. Identify areas for improvement. You want to note where you need to slow down or emphasize syllables. Practice tongue twisters. You can easily find these online. Do a quick search, and you'll find practicing tongue twisters or twisters to practice. Easy for me to say, right? I just twisted my own tongue. But challenge your speech organs and build muscle memory. One of the reasons that we sound so good in our native language is that we've been practicing it our entire lives. And so we want to, not that we will get rid of our accent entirely, or that we even want to. Uh, the thing is, you want to be able to pronounce the vocabulary, the sentences, have conversations clearly so the other person can understand. And I already mentioned this, reading news articles aloud. This is a great, great way of enhancing fluency, and you're using real world content. The other thing you want to do is set up a weekly practice routine. So, this is an example. 5 days a week, Monday and Wednesday, you focus on vocabulary flashcards and whatever pronunciation drills that you use. Tuesday and Thursday, you engage in short speaking activities or role plays. And then on Friday, you write a brief journal entry summarizing what you learned. Of course, you will write it in English. Now, the key here is this is 5 days. This might be too much for you based upon your life, your work schedule, and your family life. So you may have to cut that back. Maybe it's 3 days for you. But the key point here is to set up some type of schedule that you stick with and that you can implement this continuous learning practice. Now, social conversation scenarios. Once again, daily routines come into play. You want to practice describing your typical day in English. This is a great way this is a great way to practice because you don't have to have any special knowledge. You're just talking about yourself and the daily activities that you have to whatever degree you want to speak about them. Then local events. Discuss upcoming community activities or festivals, especially during the holiday season towards the end of the year or some other special period of time during the year. There's a lot to talk about in terms of local events because there's a lot happening. And then, of course, news headlines. Share your opinions on recent, interesting news stories. The world is full of them. Then, in terms of practicing using short business dialogue. So, in this case, I offer up three. Office greetings. So, you want to master polite ways to start the workday. This is great. It makes you relax, allows the other person to be relaxed. You don't have to struggle. You can have what we would call some simple pleasantries to begin the day, and then you go on with your day. Team updates. You want to practice giving brief progress reports. They don't have to be long and extended presentations, just brief progress reports. And then project status. Learn to succinctly describe ongoing tasks. This is something you need to do in business anyway, whether English is your second language or not. So, how do I evaluate myself? Here are some self evaluation techniques. We have word recall, right? So you want to, watch yourself to see if you're able to easily remember and use new vocabulary. If not, this may be an area that you want to concentrate on in terms of memorizing or acquiring new vocabulary. Pronunciation precision. Is your speech clearer than when you started? Is your speech clearer than when you started? If you are consistent in your practicing and focusing on pronunciation, your speech will be clearer than when you started. And then conversation comfort. Do you feel at ease initiating casual and work-related talks? There's nothing wrong with being uncomfortable, but you're learning a new language or you're improving a new language. So periodically you need to come out of your comfort zone. So your first month or January milestone review is that number one, you want clearer speech. Number two, you want a stronger word bank. And number three, you want to improve your basic conversation skills. And you want to celebrate your progress. You're working hard to improve your language skills. You've built a strong foundation for the year ahead. So celebrate that. Be nice to yourself. Be easy on yourself. And looking ahead for February, we're going to focus on conversational fluency, structured discussions, and group activities, right? So we're going to keep this thing going. This is going to be a very powerful series. You're going to see a video lesson once a month. Treat it as your own English learning plan. This is why I put it together in this way so that you can power forward. And you want to keep practicing daily or to the extent that is possible. I'm a 5 day a week person. I like to give my brain a rest once 1 or 2 days a week. All right, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Get notified of the next video in the series and stay motivated because I want to share this adventure over the next few months with you and continue our linguistic adventure together. Take care, everyone.